Why, hello, and welcome to this video that we have in the Winning Writers Interview series. And I'm so pleased today to have the opportunity to interview Debbra Lupien, who is an author. So I want to welcome you to the interview, Debbra, and let us know, first off, the name of your book.
Hi, Daniel. Thanks for having me. I'm delighted to be here. So this is my baby. It's called Akasha Unleashed, the Missing Manual to You. And it's all about the Akashic records, which are the missing manual to you.
Excellent. It sounds like a very, very interesting book. That basically came out of Edgar Cayce's work. Is that right?
Yeah, he was one of the early readers of the records.
Excellent. So what inspired you to write this book?
I was inspired by my work in the Akashic records. First of all, finding them and learning about my own soul. It was transformational. And then working with people. I was gathering all of this information into my data bank, and I had to share it with people because, unfortunately, there are a great many people who've never heard about the Akashic records. And that's really tragic because everything about your soul, how you're wired, why you are who you are, what your gifts are, it's all there, all the answers you could ever ask. And people need to know this. So the book was to teach them, first of all, hey, here's this fabulous resource. And second of all, here's how you can use it for your own empowerment and to create bliss in your life.
Excellent. And can you tell folks a little bit, for those that may not be familiar with this record, what is it? And, summarize it sort of.
Sure. If you're familiar with the Bible, it's called the Book of Life in the Bible. But what it is it's this etheric archive that each one of us has. We have a dedicated team of guides and angels who manage it. It's that vast. And it contains every bit of information about your soul since it was created. So if you can imagine, we might have lived thousands of lives. All of that is archived there. And it's available for us to use to understand ourselves better and to fully embody our gifts and to create more empowerment in our lives.
And how does one access this record?
Well, it's different for everybody. My process is I go into a meditative state and then I ask for access because you can't go into somebody's record unless you have permission and you want to be respectful, right? This is sacred and profound information. So I ask for access and then sometimes I'll see doors and they'll open. And then I'll get a story, I'll get verbal messages. Often I get things that are like fairy tales, and they're full of all of the symbolism that help people to understand. Other times, like I said, it's just a verbal message, and they just kind of answer questions. So it runs the gamut.
So is it like a sort of a trance-like state where you're almost lucid dreaming and remembering what you're seeing?
No, it's not. Edgar Cayce, you mentioned earlier, he did go into a trance because in his day, the energy frequencies were so disparate between us and the Akashic records that he had to do that to get there. But now we have shifted, the whole world and the people in it have shifted energetically so that we're a much closer match. And now I can get there in just a few seconds. It's just a thought process of going there to that space. So I'm fully aware the whole time. There's no trance.
Interesting. So can you kind of take folks through and describe for us who this book is for?
It's for people who were like me. I was all of my life searching for my soul purpose, which I didn't find out until I was in my 50s. And it's like, oh my gosh, I wish I had found it out sooner. So it's for those people who want more meaningful lives. Maybe they're at a place where they've stopped and they've reassessed where they are and they're looking around and they're saying, is that all there is? I really thought there would be more. And there is, if you figure out who you are and how to put that to use in a very empowered way, there is. And so that's who it's for, those people who want more out of life.
Excellent. And the book takes them through this. Would you, maybe a better question is this a good book for a newbie or intermediate or maybe more advanced person in this area?
Definitely not advanced. They would want something more. It's an introduction to what the records are, and then it gives them a light introduction to how to access them. I can't go deeper in this one book, but it gets them started, and there is a bonus meditation that comes with it that was downloaded from Archangel Metatron. And when they do that meditation, at the very end of it, they will be in the headspace where they can access their records if they choose to. So it's to help them get started.
Awesome, awesome. So can you tell folks where they can get your book?
It's on Amazon.
Okay, excellent. And they would just need to type in on Akasha Unleashed, is that right?
Akasha Unleashed, yes. The missing.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, Deborah, I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me about your book. It sounds so interesting, especially if you're spiritually minded or you sort of have mystical leanings, and I do. So I appreciate that sort of thing. I want to encourage folks that if this is something that you are interested in, if this has piqued your curiosity, if you hear that voice in the back of your head saying, that sounds familiar, that sounds like I need to investigate, I encourage you to go get that book right now.
Thank you, Daniel.